Hey, friends. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hearties. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined by my lovely co-host, Brennan, to talk about the When Calls the Heart Season 12 finale, Must Be Gold.
It was written by Lindsay Sturman, directed by Peter DeLuise. As graduation approaches, Elizabeth and Nathan plan for a happy summer together. Lucas and Edie race Rosemary and Bill to find the gold. The town plans a sweet surprise for Minnie.
What were your first thoughts on episode 12?
Well, I have to say, this was another finale that I really loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think one of the best finales where I know it ended kind of on a cliffhanger, but to me, it wasn't a stressful, sad cliffhanger. It was a hopeful, happy cliffhanger. I really enjoyed it for a finale. I thought it was one of the top. What about you?
I feel the same way, and I know others may not agree with us, and that's okay. We know where you're coming from. I think all of us wanted that proposal,
Yes,
so to speak, official proposal, like down on one knee.
mm-hmm.
But it's coming. And the wedding
Yes.
is coming too. The marriage is coming. I have no doubt about that. We just have to be a little patient, and I know that it will be worth the wait when it happens.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think so too. They are obviously continuing to weave and explore this blended family, but I totally agree with you. I think what was so obvious was they are now leaving Hope Valley together as a family. That is concrete, that's decided, and it's only really going to go stronger and it's going to get better from here.
Yeah. I know we all wanted that proposal, but this was the next best thing.
Yes, I think it is important that this story continues and we get to see them continue to, become a stronger family together.
And let's just give a round of applause to ourselves because we were right with that prediction that they all leave together.
We were right. Good job, Nicole.
Yay. That was one of the few predictions we got right. We were totally wrong about Ava. We were totally off.
We were totally off, but you know what? I give us kudos. I would much rather have us be right about Elizabeth and Nathan.
Yeah. Me too. Before we get started, I just have to point out the earrings I'm wearing. They are replicas of Elizabeth's from season 11.
And they are so beautiful on you.
Thank you. They're the ones from the Easter episode and the ones that she's wearing on the season 11 poster. You can find them on Etsy.
They're gorgeous.
Thank you. Ellyn
Yes.
Designs, I think, is who made them. And I will link the store in the description of this video. If you already
I will be ordering mine.
get your own.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's still some available because I think that she has a limited quantity on Etsy. But I think she does restock. So fingers crossed there's some available right now.
Yes.
But anyway, let's get into this episode and Lucas, Edie, and the mystery. So that first scene with Bill and Rosemary. Rosemary doesn't want to go to print until she's answered the question about where the gold is. Bill thinks they may not find it. And the only theory they have is that Ernie took it without the Garrisons knowing. And Rosemary comes up with a plan to talk to Edie herself, but with the cover story about the new law office in Hope Valley. With her plans.
It was, and it was so fun to see her and Bill back together and ending the season trying to solve this mystery together. And I just loved Rosemary's the way she asked the question. She's like, "Where is the gold?" She's like, "I can't take it anymore. I have to know."
Yes. And that was a good scene with her and Edie too, when they were
Mhm.
talking in Bill's office.
Yeah, it was. Was that the first time we'd seen them like interact together this season?
So
Remind me.
that might have been, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Hmm.
It was a
Yeah,
good,
that was really good.
yeah.
I love how Rosemary did it in Bill's office.
Yes, and she can kind of tell that something is up, not in a bad way, but as she said in a later scene, which we'll talk about in a second, she sensed, I think, some guilt from Edie about all of
Mm-hmm.
this.
Yeah, she definitely had her ears up.
Yes, because of,
Mhm.
Edie talking about the map and the
Mhm.
gold. But it
Mhm.
all works out in the end, and we will talk about that in just a few minutes. But
Yeah.
I loved the scene with Lucas and Edie at the
Mhm.
Queen of Hearts
Mhm.
when he invites her to join him on his team as his legal counsel. That was a great scene with them. I could feel the chemistry.
That was such a good scene. And you can tell at this point they are just so much more relaxed with each other and so much more at ease. They're having a drink together, playing cards. Even Edie, the way she's sitting a little more, laid back, looks more comfortable. And I love when Lucas he says romantic at
Yes.
one point.
Talking about the treasure hunt, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
she invites him to go help find the gold
Mm-hmm.
coins, and he accepts, of course.
Mm-hmm. I love how he calls her Miss Martell.
That's great.
It's just the way he says it. It's just very suave, like
Yeah.
Miss Martell.
Yes. He might just be me, but I think he is maybe potentially starting to like her. Or,
Yeah.
as Allie says, like.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you like her? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. I think he's definitely grown to care about her as a person. And I think he's, noticed things about her that he could be coming attracted to. And I think he's slowly starting to put himself out there again, which is exciting.
Yes. I just have to point out these next couple scenes, there were some elements to it that gave me major National Treasure vibes. You probably know exactly
Mhm.
which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love those movies.
They're some of my favorite movies, but
They're so good.
anyway, the scene with Bill, Rosemary, and Nathan in Bill's office, when she's talking about
Mhm.
how the meeting with Edie went and they're looking at the map and they find where the gold is,
Mhm.
at the wishing well, and they take one of the gold coins, and I think it's Bill who puts it on, X marks the spot. And that reminded me of the scene in National Treasure when they take the pipe, I think, that's like the shape of a ship or something, and they put it in
Yes.
the
Yeah.
thing that opened the
Mhm.
cave.
Oh my
Great.
goodness. Yes. Oh, yes. Wasn't that so fun to see them
Yes.
do that on When Calls?
Yes. And then the National Treasure vibes come back up when Lucas, Edie, Bill, and Rosemary are at the Mountie office after actually finding the gold at the cabin. And
Hmm.
they are, I think, looking at the map and they take the lemon and they find the message on the back of the map, like
Yes.
they did in National Treasure with the Declaration of Independence.
Hmm. Yes. It totally reminded me of that. Oh, that was so great.
When they take the Declaration and
Yeah.
they rub the lemon all over it.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
expose.
that was so cool. I really like that they wrote that part in. That was awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great National Treasure vibes. Way to go,
Yes.
Hallmark, for shouting out one of my favorite movies.
Yes. Such a good callback.
Yes. And I just have to say, Rosemary's enthusiasm when they're at the cabin
Mhm.
looking for the gold, that was hilarious.
That was so funny. She just charges out when she sees Lucas and Edie, like, well, well. Like, and then I think it's Lucas that's like kind of basically telling her, like, hey, don't worry. We're here on good authority. Like, calm down,
Not
Rosemary.
stealing
Like,
gold.
and it, like we're not stealing it.
We're trying to return it.
Right, right. Oh, it's just I really like, I think this is probably one of my favorite Rosemary stories because she is just so hilarious
Mhm.
solving these mysteries and just gets so into it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So when they're back at the Mountie office, Lucas mentions that Edie gets a finder's fee once the gold is turned in, and that she
Hmm.
can use it to pay back what Ernie may have borrowed.
Hmm.
There's been some theories going around about this, and I don't know if it's possible, but could the finder's fee, maybe, depending on how much it is, be used to start a
Hmm.
clinic for diabetes
Hmm.
in season 13?
Hmm. I can really see that. And it would be such a wonderful new way to use it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it would kind of fit with what Ernie wrote in his secret message to Edie.
Mm.
The message said that he saw the lanterns, then stumbled on the garrisons. He dug up the gold and reburied it at the well. He used it to
Mhm.
keep the ranch and put Edie through law school because of all the Martells. And then he says, Dearest Edie, you are the brightest with the biggest heart. I count on you to
Mm.
use this to do great good in the world. Love you forever, Ernie. Not gonna lie, that got me a little
Oh,
teary-eyed.
that was so beautiful, wasn't it? And Edie herself got choked up reading it. And I did think it was really sweet that Lucas stepped in and read the rest of it for her. And he got to read that and again just learn and know a little more about her. And
Yeah.
we know that Edie cares about people. She said that when we first met her back in episode 2, she said to Lucas something like, well, this is about people. So she really does have that caring heart. And I can absolutely see her doing something really generous
Yeah.
with this
I,
money.
and then we get the sweet moment with Lucas and Edie at the graduation dance when
Mm-hmm.
he invites her to dance, and she mentions that that stretches the boundaries of attorney-client privilege, and then
Mm-hmm.
Lucas basically says, "You're fired, at least for the duration of the dance."
Oh, wasn't that so cute? And I was so hoping, I think I can speak for us. I think we were hoping he would ask her to dance, and then he did, and he was so quick to just say, like, okay, you're fired. Like he just really wanted to
Yeah.
dance with her, and that was really sweet, that moment.
Yeah. And I'm not going to dwell on this because the triangle is dead, but for all the people out there doubting and thinking that there's going to be a flip back. That's not happening at all. And
No.
Hallmark made that very clear with showing Lucas and Edie dancing right next to Nathan and Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they sure did. That's so true. And I was watching the finale with Catherine, and she pointed out, oh, there are two main couples, lead couples. Shout out, Catherine.
Yes.
But she pointed that out. She's like, there they are, our two lead couples. And I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. That spoke volumes that they did that.
Mhm. It truly did, didn't it?
It sent a message loud and clear. The triangle is dead.
Hmm. Yes. Yes, I think so too. And especially with when we get to Nathan and Elizabeth, so many signs and subtext that,
Yeah.
yeah, another flip is not happening.
They ain't going back.
Nope.
No.
No way, baby. The Elizabeth Nathan train is not slowing down.
Choo choo. It's heading to Cape Fullerton
Yep. They're going together.
and then back to Hope Valley at some point. Choo choo
Hmm.
together.
Yeah, right. And it was really, really sweet and lovely to see Lucas dance with a beautiful woman again. It was great.
Yeah. So moving on to the Canfields and Mike and May. The first scene, Elizabeth, Mike, May, and Florence. They want to plan a group project for not only Angela, but Minnie.
Mhm.
And I think it's Elizabeth that says, 6 special things about Angela or things that she
Mhm.
cares about for the
Mhm.
project. So that's the theme of the project.
Mhm.
And, I love how Mike just chips in. He's like, I want to help too. Like, and a man.
Yeah. It was that scene was really sweet and it was neat how I just thought it was so funny. Mike is in the back, like looking at a can of something, and then
Yeah.
he just comes up and he's like, and one gent? Like,
Yeah, and one chance.
oh, Mike doesn't want to be left out. That's so cute.
Yes.
So sweet.
And then Mike, May, Toby, and Cooper, when, they're all talking about this special surprise
Mhm.
and, they're wanting to know what Angela's favorite dessert is, which is
Mhm.
strawberry rhubarb pie, and then her
Mhm.
favorite instrument. And they're going back and forth whether it's a ukulele or a piano.
Oh, yes.
And Minnie comes in and, they're all trying to think of a cover for Minnie.
Yeah.
And Mike is like, a school questionnaire for the Valley Voice's secret article.
Good save, Mike. Good save.
Yes. And Toby's like, what questionnaire, huh? And Cooper, like, elbows him, like, uh, that
Right.
questionnaire.
This is a sign not to say anything, man. Oh, those boys are so darn sweet.
Hmm.
They've really impressed me this season.
Yeah, they really did.
They're becoming really, really kind and caring young
Yes.
men.
So,
Mhm.
way to go, Elias and
Yeah.
Billy.
Yes. Yeah. I think this was a top season for them so far.
Yeah,
They just continue to get better.
they did a great job. Yeah.
They did.
And I love how Minnie is just like trying to figure it out. She's like, okay, they're acting weird.
Right. What's going on? A little sus.
Yes. And then the surprise. The scene
Mhm.
when Elizabeth, Mike, May, Molly, and Florence surprised her with the Hope Valley blanket.
Mm. Oh, that got me emotional. How about you?
Tears.
It did. It did. I was watching it earlier today and oh my goodness, I found myself getting emotional over it. It's a beautiful scene.
Hmm. They each
Mhm.
made their own panels too.
Yes, even Mike made one. He made the Hope Valley one and
In Braille.
oh, it just was so beautiful, wasn't it? So sweet.
And all of them making the blanket. It reminded me of the scene in season 5. Of
Hmm.
course, a different scenario, but still
Hmm.
reminiscent of when I think it was Molly, Florence, Clara, and Abigail
Hmm.
showed Elizabeth the blanket that they made after Jack died.
Hmm. I thought of that too. It reminded me of that too. Yeah, and that was also a beautiful
That was
scene.
a beautiful scene too. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that was the same scene where Abigail said there will always be sorrow in life, but there will always be joy too.
Yes.
Something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a beautiful line that she says.
Oh, that scene gets me every time. I'm
I know. It's so good. It's so good. And isn't that the same scene where she offers the coffee and then
Yes,
Elizabeth has that reaction and she
yes,
finds out she's pregnant?
I think
Oh,
so.
so good.
Yeah, that was a long scene
Mm-hmm.
because I think it started with the blanket and then it ended with
Yeah.
the baby announcement.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yes. But anyway, back to season 12. All of them comforting Minnie was really sweet too.
Oh, that was so beautiful. And just Minnie's reaction and just it just that meant so much to her. She just was just full of, I think, thankfulness and gratefulness. And seeing her get so emotional was really so, you can tell how much she loves these people and appreciates them. And when she says, I love you all, oh, it just, that was just an incredible performance. It just was so good. And according to the Brian Bird and Joy Gregory Heart to Hearties interview, the quilt was made by a When Calls a Heart fan.
Oh, yes. I think her name is Christy. So
Mm-hmm.
well done, Christy.
Christy, yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
She did a great job.
It is a beautiful quilt.
Ah,
Oh, just stunning.
yes.
Yeah, that was a great scene. That was something about the finale that I was looking forward to. When we read that they were going to do something special for her, I was looking forward to seeing what that would be, and this
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah. And I haven't watched it yet, but I think Joy did say in one of the recent interviews, I think it was Heart to Hearties, that there will be more Minnie in season 12 or more Canfields, which is great.
Oh, please, yes, we love them.
Yes.
Give us all the Canfields.
Yes.
Hmm.
Moving on to Elizabeth Lee and Rosemary surprising Mike and May with their third honeymoon, but this time to Miami. And everyone pitched in, which was
Hmm.
really thoughtful.
That was really thoughtful. And Mike and May were so excited. And I am glad that they will be getting a honeymoon redo.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this one goes a lot better. That was really sweet.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
don't know how that's going to turn out.
Gosh, it'll be interesting, right?
Yep.
Hopefully, they come back from it a lot happier than before.
Fingers crossed.
Hmm.
Uh, and then Allie and Angela, and
Hmm.
Allie giving her the poem that she wrote.
Hmm.
Really sweet.
That was so sweet. Oh, I'm not ready for Angela to leave Hope Valley. That was so sweet. And
Yeah,
Allie and Angela, they've had a really special friendship. They really love each other a lot.
it's really sweet.
Hmm.
All leaving your friends when you graduate.
Hmm. It is sad. I know. Looking back, I remember that. It's bittersweet for sure.
Mhm. But moving on to the Grants and the Thorntons.
Hmm.
I love how they started the episode off with a clip of Nathan and Jack playing catch. That was
Hmm. Oh, that was so sweet. And I really, really like how, with this particular journal entry, Elizabeth I love that too. You see Nathan and Jack throwing the ball, and it's just so sweet. And then you see Elizabeth journaling. But then toward the end of the journal scene, you hear Nathan and Jack in the background. And to me, I realized, oh, they're outside as she's journaling. And I just thought a little thing like that was so cool. Like they are a family. Like they're outside playing while she's inside journaling. I just thought that was really,
me
really
too.
beautiful.
I did love the journal entry, but I do wish that there had been maybe a little bit more filled in with the time jump.
Hmm. Now that you bring that up, I do too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it was still a beautiful journal entry.
it was still a beautiful journal entry. I was hoping that we would maybe get maybe like a little Christmas flashback that maybe would have been hard to film.
Yeah.
Um, but I was hoping we'd maybe get a little winter
Yeah.
Christmas wrap up, like, oh, we got to spend our first Christmas together. And I was hoping for that.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to make a big deal about it and dwell on it, but it would have
No,
been nice.
it would have been nice. Yeah. Hmm.
But anyway, the journal entry. Every year, the arrival of spring feels like a miracle. This year, more than ever. As the months pass by, little Jack grows stronger every day. It's almost like the ordeal of diabetes is behind us. But I must remember this is our life now, a life we're blessed to have. And then we see the mention of the end of school and final projects and graduation and Timmy confessing his feelings to Emily. Also, what?
Yeah,
That came out of nowhere.
it kind of did because that really hadn't been talked about since Allie's birthday,
Okay.
episode 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
But
complaining.
no, no, not at all. But hey, yay, Timmy. That's adorable. Glad you finally did it.
It just would have been nice to see more development there.
Hmm. Yeah, it would have been because Emily didn't talk about it beyond episode 4 either.
Yeah.
So that girlfriend Timmy had in that other town, guess she's no more.
Probably non-existent. She might not have even existed.
Well, that's also very true. It's that's probably what it was.
Uh, and that's not an insult to
Mm-mm.
Lindsay at all.
Oh no. No, not at all. I think it's actually really sweet how she,
Wanted to,
wrote that in there and kind of wrap that up. Hmm.
yeah. I just would have liked to see more of them, together, hanging out in the time jump. But that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. It's okay. I agree with you though.
Yeah. Maybe in season 13, hopefully they'll return.
Hopefully they will. That would be great.
Yes, I would love
Yeah.
for Grayson and Christian to stay.
Me too. I hope they do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Grayson's been there since season 1, episode 1.
I know. I know. This seemed very surreal for her. Like, oh my goodness, it's her graduation episode. Wow. I mean, that's incredible for her. What an amazing journey.
I still remember one of those first episodes with the braids
Mm-hmm.
falling about
Mm-hmm.
pigtails.
I know. Oh, she was just such a cute little girl.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's had some really, really good stories throughout the
Yeah,
series.
I agree. And then going back to the journal entry, Elizabeth ends it off with, and thanks to his daily dose of insulin, our little Jack has a future as bright as any child's. And we see Allie giving Jack a piggyback ride, which was adorable.
That was so adorable. It was so sweet. Oh, big sister. I love their relationship.
Me too. It's really sweet.
She's so good with him.
And then the walk and talk, which we kind of talked about in the preview at the end of last
Hmm.
week's review. But
Hmm.
final school projects and summer, and Elizabeth is like, what will we do with all our free time? I can think of a few things. Oh, Nathan.
Nathan's thinking about something, all right. Oh, that was so sweet. And I love that we got a kiss. That was so cute.
The PDA.
That was so sweet.
Yeah.
We got more PDA, finally.
Yes.
We got a nice wide shot. We saw their hands.
Hmm.
Yeah, so good.
Like I said, they're both so in love and not afraid to show it.
Nope, not at all. Hopefully, we'll get even more PDA.
in season 2. Yeah. But it was a really sweet moment, and
Mhm,
Elizabeth thinks that they all deserve to have some free time, and
mhm,
Nathan wants to walk Elizabeth to school instead of
mhm,
going to work, which is really sweet. And he says, "Where you
mhm.
go, I go."
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, Nathan,
yeah.
just making us swoon for the thousandth time.
Oh,
Oh, there was an interview with Joy Gregory. I think again it was with Heart to Hearties, but she said that the Where You Go, I Go was inspired by Aaron, Kevin, and Jack Wagner
yes.
because they were thinking about Titanic, You Jump, I Jump.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really,
Oh,
really sweet
yeah.
little BTS that she shared.
I
Yeah.
love that too.
Yeah. Applause to the three of them for that.
Yeah.
It's such a good line.
Yes. And I don't know if you caught this, but I love the look on Nathan's face after Elizabeth says, "Let's have some fun." Like the way he looks at her in that moment after she says that is pure adoration and love. It is so sweet.
Oh, it sure is, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh, Nathan. Oh, it just I love that we are continuing to see
Yeah.
how much he loves her.
Oh, me
And
too.
like you said, you can just see it on his face. And I loved that little playful moment for Elizabeth too of
Yeah,
let's have some fun. It was
it's really
very
cute.
flirty and cute.
So going to Nathan and Oliver, with Oliver's help taking down McGinty and the Garrisons, Nathan is
Mhm.
recommending he graduate with honors. Way to go, Oliver.
Good job, Ollie.
And his new post is in Fort McNeil. Fort McNeil!
Fort McNeil. Remind me, have we heard of Fort McNeil before?
Mm, if we have, I can't put my finger on what season it was in.
Me too.
I feel like maybe at least once or twice.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Familiar.
hmm
But he needs to stay in Hope Valley,
He has to stay. I
which,
know. I was kind of I thought it was wonderful of Nathan to give him this high praise and but I did think it was a little interesting that Nathan was like, "Yeah, Fort McNeil, you'll love it." I was kind of like, "Nathan, don't you want him to stay?"
yes, he needs to stay, but we did get the answer to that later on in the episode. Yay.
Thankfully we did.
Which we will talk
Yeah.
about that in just a second.
hmm
But just for a second, can we talk about when Oliver is presenting his project
hmm
and Allie's standing right there, Nathan's standing right there, Lucas is standing right there, and it's
hmm
about Canada's great wildlife. And they're
hmm
complimenting each other, Oliver
Yes.
and Allie, and
hmm
the looks between them, and then Nathan's reaction to the looks between them was priceless.
Oh, those expressions were just gold, weren't they?
He was like, "Mm."
You could just see his eyes were just going back and forth, and you could see his eyebrow raising. And at one point, Nathan and Lucas kind of give each other a look like, yeah, this is seems more a little more friendly. And it just Kevin just nails those expressions. And
Yeah.
especially as Nathan, it was fantastic.
Yep.
And I liked how Nathan and Lucas were, they were in that scene together.
Yeah.
I think I like how their relationship is right now. It's
Yeah.
good.
Me too.
hmm
We get the scene with Elizabeth and Rosemary at Elizabeth's row house, and they're talking about the letter that Elizabeth received from Charlotte Thornton, who is running a boarding house now in Cape Fullerton. What did you think about them bringing in Charlotte with that mention? I know there's some mixed feelings about it.
Mhm. To be honest, I was surprised.
Yeah.
And honestly, I did think it was a little random because we hadn't heard anything about her for so long.
5.
And I think honestly, and maybe unfortunately, I did have that thought of, oh no, is this going to be another hurdle for Nathan and Elizabeth, another Jack challenge? I hope not. But to be honest, those were the thoughts that I had. What about you?
I was surprised that they
Mhm.
mentioned her because
Mhm.
we hadn't heard her name since season 5, episode 5, when Tom
Mhm.
came for the wedding.
Mhm.
And he mentioned something about her getting injured, and that's
Mhm.
why she couldn't be at the wedding.
Oh yeah.
So I was surprised, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I didn't mind them
Mm.
mentioning her. I mean,
Yeah.
since season 3, I've always liked Charlotte, and I thought she was perfectly cast with Brooke Shields. And I can see where people would be worried that that would be another hurdle, but I think going into season
Mhm.
13, I don't think that it will be a hurdle for Nathan and
Mm.
Elizabeth. And if it somehow, some way is, I don't think it's going
Mhm.
to last very long.
Mm. I think you are right. I agree with you. Hmm.
Because even though we haven't really heard mentions of Charlotte all these
Hmm.
years
Hmm.
until now,
Hmm.
I can't imagine that Elizabeth hasn't been writing Charlotte
Mm.
because she's her mother-in-law.
Yes. And Jack's grandmother.
Yes.
Hmm. So it would completely make sense for them to stay in touch. That's good
Yeah.
because she is still a relative and a relative of Jack's. And
Yeah.
I, of course, just hope that she is kind to them, kind to Nathan.
I feel like she will be. Like, I'm sure that Elizabeth has told Charlotte in letters about Nathan. I can't imagine that she wouldn't.
Mm. Mm, that is a very good point. Yes, that's a really, really good point. Yeah, we can definitely hope that she has.
Yes. I mean, we
Hmm.
haven't heard mention of Charlotte and Nathan meeting, but I'm sure
Hmm.
that she has heard about Nathan from Elizabeth
Hmm.
somehow, some way.
Hmm. That's a really good point. I'm sure she has. And if we see her in season 13, they went there for little Jack. So
Mhm.
my expectation is little Jack would be the focus and it wouldn't necessarily be Nathan being the focus. And
And
yeah, I would hope that Charlotte will be a supportive character, not a challenging character.
I think that she will be supportive. And I feel like even though we haven't seen this too, Tom had to have mentioned Nathan to her
Mm.
because Tom
Hmm.
was there in season 11.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure he did. And we saw Tom in so many words, give his blessing and his
Yeah.
praise to Nathan. And so I think you're right about that too.
Yeah.
He's probably in communication with his mother.
I'm sure he is. Yes.
Hmm.
And just because Jack is gone, that doesn't take away the communication with
Hmm.
Elizabeth and Charlotte.
Exactly. Exactly. And I totally agree with you. I would hope that, like you, they would still be communicating. Hmm.
Sure that they are. We just don't
Yeah.
see it on camera.
Exactly.
It happens off screen
Hmm.
most of the time.
Yes, which is very Hope Valley appropriate.
But anyway, in the letter, Charlotte mentions how equipped the hospital is there with the best doctors and a brand new insulin lab in town. Elizabeth is a little worried that Charlotte is doubting her parenting and that
Mm.
she's right. And, Elizabeth goes on to say, what if moving is saying goodbye to our life here? And it means little Jack gets the best doctors and latest equipment. Shouldn't I be willing to do that? Oh,
Mm.
Erin played this scene
Hmm.
brilliantly.
She did. She really, really, truly did.
Mm.
Yeah, just to see her go from frustration and confusion to letting herself, sit down and be vulnerable.
Yes, from what we saw of Charlotte in season 3, she can be a
Mhm.
lot,
Mhm.
but I don't
Yeah.
think that she was doubting Elizabeth's parenting. She just cares about her grandson.
Hmm. Yes, that's what I thought too. Like, this is not her writing Elizabeth saying, you're not parenting correctly. I think this letter was concern and love for her grandson. And, she's just trying to help.
Mm. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually would love to see some scenes with Charlotte and Jack. Some grandma scenes.
Hmm.
Grandma grandson scenes.
Hmm. I agree. Just to see her with Jack's son,
Yeah.
just to see her reaction, and maybe she'll say things like, "Oh, you look just like your dad," or "Oh, your dad was just like you when he was little." I would love that too. That'd be beautiful.
Yes. And
Hmm.
not talking about the Thorntons, but I actually would love to see Jack with William and Grace. I don't know how possible that is, but
Mm.
I would love to see a scene with William bouncing Jack on his knee because I don't know if you
Mm.
remember in that season 5 scene when Jack goes to get William's blessing, he
Hmm.
says something along the lines of, "These are going to be your grandchildren. You're bouncing on your knee," or something like that.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. And he would just love little Jack so much. Hmm.
It would be really sweet. And I know that the guy who plays Elizabeth's dad, he was just recently in a Hallmark movie, so maybe they could bring him back at some point.
Yeah, that would be great. It would be great to see him again. And I agree. It would be
Yeah.
so sweet to see him with his grandson.
Yes.
Hmm.
Garwin, he was just in Brennan Elliott and Lacey Chabert's movie, His and Hers, last year. He
Oh
played her
yeah.
uncle.
Yes. So there's always a chance.
Yes. And Linda, who plays Grace, Elizabeth's mother, she was
Hmm.
in The Real West.
She was.
The
Yes. Yeah.
red-haired. Yeah.
She's great. I really
Yeah,
like
she's
her.
great too. Yeah.
Hmm.
So maybe that's possible. Come on, Hallmark.
Come on, Hallmark. You have them
Bring
in movies. Put them back in when
Thatcher,
calls.
bring the Thatchers back.
Yes.
For some
Yes. We
grandparent
do
time.
like them.
Let's bring them back for some grandchildren time.
We need some grandparent scenes. I think we've all been
Yeah.
wanting to see some grandparent scenes. Mhm.
Yes. Elizabeth talked to Faith, and she doesn't think a move is necessary at that point, but acknowledged that things can change. And Rosemary suggests
Mhm.
that she file the letter away for now, which she
Mhm.
does. Then we get the scene with Nathan and Elizabeth. So
So good.
romantic. So Nathan's mention of Pembroke Falls, easy hike and a pool to swim in. So I guess he's thinking about summer plans for them.
Mhm. Which
And
is so sweet.
yes. And she says, "Is this what you're thinking about on rounds?" The honey, I'm home vibe in
Mhm.
that moment was
Mhm.
on point. The way he just put his hands on the chair and kneeled over to kiss her. Oh, my heart.
Oh, my heart. Oh, and he says it again, among other things. Oh, Nathan is just ready
He's
for
ready.
that future, isn't he? He is just thinking about time with his girl.
Mm,
I love it.
best girl.
Yes. Oh, Nathan, just, oh, so romantic.
And they're talking about school and her curriculum. It's been effective and everyone improved over the year except Oliver. He was doing so well. Then he regressed, not just there, but on his final Mountie report. And
Mhm.
it's kind of obvious to Nathan what Oliver is doing. He's
Mhm.
intentionally flunking to stay in Hope Valley and moon after Allie.
Just the way he said it was fantastic. He was like, well, I know what's going on.
And I love Elizabeth's reaction. She's like,
I know. It's like, Nathan, they're friends.
oh. But this line was total foreshadowing to
Mhm.
the last scene. And I didn't pick up on this until after the episode. And I think it was probably because I was too busy tweeting too. It was hard to pay attention.
It's okay.
But when Nathan says there aren't many things that young men will put his life on hold for, but following a girl, that's one of them.
Oh.
And Nathan did that.
Hmm. He sure did. Oh,
Total foreshadowing.
it's total foreshadowing, isn't it? It's so, so sweet. Just giving a little insight to what he thinks.
Yeah. And Elizabeth says Oliver shouldn't be putting his life on hold for anybody. Nobody should. As she looks at the letter from Charlotte, Elizabeth starts getting emotional,
Mhm.
and Nathan is trying to comfort her with the exercise he used to do with Allie. Breathe
Oh,
in, breathe out. I breathe, you breathe. One breath, one heartbeat.
oh, Nathan just, he can just read her like a book.
Mm-hmm.
And he just knows her so well. When he sees she's upset or something's bothering her, he just wants to be there to help and make it better. And he's just so good at
Mm-hmm.
helping her relax and just bring her into this beautiful moment with him.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, I think we've talked about this before, but it just reminded me of, to me, a foreshadow of wedding vows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to bet when they do get married? That will be in their vows.
Oh, I think yes, for sure. One breath, one heartbeat. Where you go, I go.
That
Mm-hmm.
too. What do you want to
Mm-hmm.
bet where you go, I go will be part of their vows?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And putting this out in the universe, someone else might have said this a
Mhm.
couple days ago, but Nathan and Elizabeth's Where You Go, I Go is the equivalent of not only Jack and Elizabeth's Love is Patient, Love is Kind
Mhm.
from First Corinthians chapter 13, but Take a Walk with Me.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think of that, but it so is. It truly is.
Hmm.
Because that's just going to continue in season 13. They've set that up
Hmm.
intentionally in this finale. That
Yeah.
is definitely going to continue.
And also for the Hardys who are postables out there, and Brennan, you will get this reference once you see more of the episodes, but it is the equivalent of Shane and Oliver's I Only Dance with You.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. That's so
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah. And cool fun fact,
Mhm.
in Shane and Oliver's wedding vows, they
Mhm.
used Where You Go, I Go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yes. Not exactly said like Nathan and Elizabeth say it on When It Calls the Heart, but
Mhm.
they used the same verse from Ruth.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that.
Me too.
And another little nugget, also said by Joy Gregory. Apparently, the one breath, one heartbeat was Kevin's idea.
Yes. I love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really sweet.
So good.
And I love how Elizabeth responds too. what he said about one breath, one heartbeat was I love you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't it just music to our ears and so beautiful to hear her say that to him? And you could just see the love and the emotions in her eyes. She is just staring into him.
Mm.
I love that she said that in that moment too.
And then Nathan follows up with, "It's you. You're what I
Mm-hmm.
think about on rounds. You're what I
Mm-hmm.
think about all the time. Tonight I rode up on the West Ridge and I looked out over the valley at sunset, and this grateful calm just came over me because no matter what happens, this land will always be here, and our life will always be here together in Hope Valley."
Mm-hmm.
And the hand over his heart and the hug.
Oh, that was just so beautiful. And I love that Nathan shared that with her
Yeah.
because I think we can all assume that he's been thinking about Elizabeth
Yeah.
all the time and on rounds
Yeah.
for years, I'm sure, even before they were together. So I love that he finally shared that with her because it's like, oh, Nathan, we knew it.
Yes.
So happy you told
Yes.
Elizabeth that.
And what are your thoughts on Elizabeth not telling Nathan about the letter? I know there are some mixed feelings about this too. I don't think she was withholding anything from Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
She's just overcome with emotion right now,
Mm-hmm.
and she's worried about Jack. And
Mm-hmm.
like she said in, the letter at the end to Nathan, or the note, she didn't want to ask him and Allie to uproot their life. And I feel like if she would have told him
Mm-hmm.
at that moment, she knows what his answer would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense, what I'm saying?
That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. And I completely agree. And that's something that Elizabeth, even going back to when Nathan said he would quit the Mounties for her back in season 8, episode 2,
Yeah.
and Elizabeth told him, no, I'm not going to go back there too much, but I bring that up because she has never wanted him to give up his career or his life for her. He's done that willingly, but she has always made it clear that she would never
Yes.
ask that of him because that's part of her love for him, I think. And I totally agree with you. To me, that kind of came up again of, okay, she's in this place again where she knows Nathan is very happy in Hope Valley. This is where his life is. And I totally agree with you. She's back to that thinking of, well, I would never ask him to give his life up here. This is where he wants to stay. This is where he wants to be. I'm not going to ask him to give that up because I love him so much.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Going to Elizabeth and Oliver, that was a sweet scene. I just had to mention it briefly, when she gives
Mm-hmm.
his final exam and he passed with an A plus. And,
Yeah.
he tells her why he did what he did. He does
Mm-hmm.
want to be a Mountie, but he was starting to feel normal and never got to be a kid. And I love what Elizabeth tells him. Everyone deserves a chance to be a kid. Childhood is a precious thing, and you're wise to treasure it.
Mm-hmm. I really love that scene. I think Elizabeth and Oliver are forming a really sweet relationship.
Mm.
And I think in a lot of ways, he's come to trust her and confide in her. And I really liked how, instead of, it would have been easy to have Oliver say, oh, I want to stay for Allie. And maybe part of him does, whether he knows it or not. But I really liked that instead the story was,
Mhm.
no, he really did come to find a home in Hope Valley and really felt like he could be a kid there. I wasn't expecting that, but I really loved that.
Yeah, it was a really sweet scene.
When she said tag and then she runs out really
That was
playfully and
funny.
then she kind of looks back at him like, are you coming? Come catch me. And then he runs after her. That
That
was
was
so
funny.
cute.
That was
Yeah.
funny. And then we get the beautiful graduation and
Mhm.
dance. I love in Elizabeth's speech, at graduation to Emily, Timmy, and Angela, she says, no matter where your futures take you, just remember you will always have friends here to come home to. And the look
Hmm.
between Nathan and Elizabeth was really sweet. And
Oh, so sweet. He's right in the front row. So sweet.
and then Nathan and Oliver. So with Nathan's promotion, he makes Oliver a deputy, which means
Hmm.
he gets to stick around another year.
Yay!
Means
Congrats, Ollie.
he'll be in season 13.
So happy. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy.
Yes, Jacob gets to stay.
Hmm. Yay.
Allie asking Oliver to dance, which was really sweet, and Nathan and Elizabeth's reactions. I love how Elizabeth says, "You know how we said it wasn't mutual?" And Nathan's like, "Yeah." And then Elizabeth is like, "I'm not so sure about that." And Nathan was like,
Oh, again, his expression was fantastic.
"Kevin did a great job."
He did such a good job.
Mhm.
Just going into that protective but confused dad mode.
Yes. And then we see Lucas share with Elizabeth about the education conference the following month. So July for 3 days. And, he still has some influence. So that's probably how he made that happen.
Mhm.
And then Nathan encourages her and mentions he can keep Jack
Mhm.
while she's there. And I love how he says, you can lean on me a bit more. In fact, why don't you start by leaning on me on the dance floor? Where you go, I go.
Oh, oh, wasn't that so beautiful?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Just Nathan offering to care for Jack. I would love to see that, by the way. And
Yeah.
then Elizabeth repeating, where you go, I go. And oh my goodness, I think it was shout out to Angie because she did a slowdown of Nathan like giving Elizabeth like an arm
I
touch.
caught that.
Oh, so sweet. It's just those little things that brings to the character of Nathan that just it's just so good.
Yeah. Maybe once Jack is better, we'll see the education conference and Elizabeth there and Nathan taking care of Jack.
Yeah, I would love that. I hope that comes back.
Yeah, me too.
That would be great.
And then everyone dances the Charleston. Mike with the leg kick was hilarious.
Oh, that was so fun. I was so happy. We got to see everybody doing the Charleston
Yeah.
because, the cast had been teasing that all season of, well, there you are going to see more dancing. You're going to see everybody dance. And that was just so good. And it was so fun to see. You could tell everybody was having fun, smiling, laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And even Ned and Florence were adorable,
Yeah.
and they're all so good at it. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I'm not gonna
You
lie.
are too, by the way. I got to practice mine.
Oh, thanks.
And you are so good. And
Mhm.
just real quick, going back to when Elizabeth and Nathan go off on the dance floor,
So
he
cute.
does the hand grab. He takes her hand and puts it on his heart again. Oh,
I won't stay on this scene too long because it is heart-wrenching, but Elizabeth finding Jack.
oh, in the row house. Oh my goodness. When she's calling to him and she's saying his name and wake up, and she's panicking, that was emotional.
That took me back.
And it took me back too. It reminded me of when Elizabeth would call out to Jack Sr.
It sounds the exact same.
It does, doesn't it? It's heart-wrenching.
Mhm.
Oh, it is so emotional. I
They
know.
killed that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She did. And she goes from so hopeful in that scene, talking about the hike, to just helpless. And when she cries out for help, oh, it's heartbreaking.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, according to Faith, the injections that Jack had received over the past day or two hadn't been effective because they think that that week's supply wasn't properly refrigerated in transit.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Oh, it was going so well, and another unfortunate
mhm.
bump in this journey.
Yeah. So they're rushing another shipment from Toronto, and they've been calling around to find an emergency supply that might get there soon. And then Elizabeth, she doesn't want to, but she suggests Cape Fullerton. And Faith brings up that they probably should go to Cape Fullerton for now for
Mm-hmm.
Jack's treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to tell Nathan, but he's on rounds. Ugh,
Mm-hmm. I know. I was so thankful that Rosemary was there for her in that moment, just to be by her side, and she just jumped to it like, I'll go find Nathan. I'll go find him. And I really appreciated Faith's honesty when she,
yeah.
said, I wish I could tell you that everything will be okay for Jack here, but then she finally admitted, like, look, we just don't have everything here yet. And being closer to a lab might be better, and saying that she would go there if it was for Lily. I just really, it was so hard, to hear, and hard for Elizabeth, but I just appreciated Faith's honesty.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I'm crying even thinking about it now, but can we talk about that Elizabeth and Minnie scene?
Oh, oh my goodness. I know. That scene made me emotional too. Oh, Natasha, she, that I think was one of her best
Yeah.
scenes.
So
Hmm.
Elizabeth says that she thought they'd be okay and that they could trust the medicine. And Minnie says the miracle isn't that someday it all goes away. The
Hmm.
miracle is that you learn you can handle it. And then she talks
Hmm.
about Angela, and
Hmm.
Elizabeth says, he already lost his father, and I know there's no answer, but I just keep thinking, why?
Hmm.
And he says, why, God, did you give me your hardest battles? It's because you are his strongest soldier. And Elizabeth says, I don't want to be. You can carry more than you think, and you will for him.
Hmm. Oh, it's okay. It made me emotional too. It made me emotional when I watched it earlier, and when she's talking about Angela and just how she never thought Angela's life would turn out this way. And when she says she is soaring, she loves her daughter so much. And because of that love, Minnie is now able to love and encourage Elizabeth about little Jack in that way.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Minnie was there with Elizabeth, just sharing her heart and being vulnerable. It was incredible. I think this was one of Minnie's best episodes and one of Natasha's best
Yeah, I
performances.
agree.
Oh, so good. I really appreciate that they wrote Elizabeth questioning, because those are things that I've asked about situations in my life of, man, why did something happen again? Or, I've had moments where I've gone through something challenging and then something else comes up, and I've asked that question a lot of, well, just why? And so I really thought that was just very honest and real, and something that I think many of us can relate to.
Mm, I agree.
Mhm.
So Elizabeth and Jack. Elizabeth gives Rosemary her note to Nathan, of course, to give to him.
Mhm.
Jack wants to know who's coming with them.
Mhm.
Elizabeth says, just you and me tonight.
Mhm.
Elizabeth turns out the row house light, and I don't know if this was intentional or not. But I did see a comment from someone somewhere. I think it was on a post in the Suspenders Unbuttoned Facebook group. But someone said that maybe that's symbolic for her moving on from that home and finding a new one with Nathan when they return to Hope Valley. Something along those lines
Oh,
better accommodates them and the kids.
hmm. I didn't even think of that, but that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that being foreshadowing.
I mean, maybe that's not what they meant, or maybe it is, but
Mm-hmm.
the fact that I don't think we have ever seen Elizabeth turn out the lights to her row house, that just seems significant.
It does, doesn't it? We've never seen her do that. I agree. I
Not in
agree.
a negative way, but in a way like what I said.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Like we are leaving this home. Obviously, in that moment, she was physically leaving, but it could, yeah, it could be
For a bigger home
a
and have all.
sign of what's to come,
Yeah,
and moving on to something else. Mm-hmm.
bigger home that accommodates all of them because that row
Mm-hmm.
house is small.
Yes, yes, it is. And eventually, they are going to have to, you know, find a home, a physical house where they can all
Yep.
be together. Mm-hmm.
We hear Elizabeth's note. Dear Nathan, I'm so sorry to
Mm-hmm.
leave like this without seeing you, without saying goodbye. I'm sure you'll hear the whole story, and I'll call as soon as we're settled in Cape Fullerton. And then we see the goodbyes with Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, seeing Rosemary standing there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's such a good friend, isn't she?
Hmm.
She knows that it's the best thing, but I'm sure she's
And
sad and worried and
then Elizabeth says, I don't know how long we'll be gone, but I could never ask you to uproot your life and Allie's. Not like this. And we
Mhm,
see Nathan ride up on Newton
mhm.
after coming home from rounds. Immediately he busts through Elizabeth's row house. No
Yep.
lights whatsoever.
Nope.
We hear Allie shout, Dad, and
Mm,
she tells him that he just missed Elizabeth and Jack, and she gives him the
mhm,
note from Rosemary, and he tears that thing open.
mhm.
No
He
hesitation.
no hesitation at all. And even back to what you said about him going up to the house, he doesn't even knock. He
Oh,
just
open
goes
the
in,
door.
goes in. And, like you were saying earlier, they just continue to
Hmm.
be each other's home more and more. And just even the way they're entering into each other's houses now, mostly Nathan, but there's just no knocking anymore. It's just like, nope, your home is my home. I don't even have to knock anymore. I can just come in and look for you. That little moment, I just really appreciated.
Just the speed at which Nathan opened that letter was
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone open a letter faster.
he tore his hand out of that glove so fast.
I know. I didn't even see where the glove went. I was like, well, it's just gone. He don't even care.
And I didn't catch this until someone, I think, made an edit. It might have been Jennifer, Home Sweet Hardy, with
Mm.
Newton looking over his shoulder.
Right. I know, sweet Newton. He's like, I want to know too.
Newton the
What's
horse.
happening? We rode all the way back here.
And shout out to Jennifer if you're listening.
Yes.
But yeah, that was great. Just no hesitation from
Mhm.
Nathan or Allie.
Right.
And they catch up with Elizabeth and Jack.
Mhm. My heart was pounding so fast because the episode was like down to a minute. My heart was pounding and I just was wishing so bad, like, oh, please don't end the finale with them missing each other. Please don't end that way. Please don't end that way. So then when we see Elizabeth's taxi and then the car behind her and you see the lights and they're beeping, I was like, oh, yes.
I was like, come on, Nathan. I was like, Hallmark, you can't end like that. You can't
Yeah,
end
I
without her
was
seeing
saying,
Nathan.
yes, Nicole, I was saying the same thing out loud. Like, come on, Nathan, come on. Oh,
Allie, family sticks together, right?
mm-hmm.
And Elizabeth is just overcome with emotion, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "How could you?" And Nathan says, "We'll figure it out together. Where you go, I go."
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, how relieved were we when the taxi stops and you just see just that look on Elizabeth's face, her eyes get wide, and then we see Nathan in the window, and we're just like, yes, he made it. I was so happy.
Yes.
And they just jump in. I love how Allie was like, yep, we're doing this. She just got right in the front. And then Elizabeth and Nathan just shared that beautiful kiss. And oh my gosh, I love that window shot from the back.
That that window shot is total foreshadowing to them getting married.
Total foreshadowing. And just, it immediately made me think of Cinderella and
Cinderella.
the carriage and just
Yep.
Prince and princess vibes. It just, Nicole, that moment, I cried, just tears.
It was
It just,
beautiful.
it just came out. I just was so
Yeah.
happy that Nathan caught up to her and that
Mhm.
they're going together. It made me so emotional. I cried again.
And I know some people are worried or think that Elizabeth could be pulling back, but she's not at all. She is all in with Nathan.
She's all in. She's all in with Nathan. And I really think she really didn't have a choice.
No.
Jack just all of a sudden got very sick again. She had to go. She had to do this. And she waited as long as she could to try to find Nathan. It just seemed like it was bad timing. He was out on rounds. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't her wanting to leave without saying goodbye. It was a moment of like, look, I really have no choice. And, obviously she is a mother
Mm-hmm.
and Jack is her priority. She's doing what she thought was best in that moment. And it wasn't her like leaving like willingly or leaving unsure of Nathan. Not at all. She just was doing
Yeah.
what's best for her son.
Timing
Mhm.
was not on her side in this episode.
Right. Exactly. It was not. She really tried her best.
Yeah.
Everyone went out to look for Nathan.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And just because she's worried and, overcome with emotion about Jack, that doesn't mean that she loves Nathan any less or is pulling back. Like I said, she's all in.
Hmm.
And I mean, who kissed who first in the taxi? Elizabeth was the one that initiated that kiss.
Yes, she did. She went in first, which was so beautiful. It's just that relief of, oh, not only did you find me, but you're going with me.
Yeah.
She just, in a lot of ways, she reacted with action,
Yes.
just like Nathan did. And it just, oh, it's so beautiful.
Actions speak louder than words.
They sure do. Yeah, so I really thought it just was a beautiful finale.
I do too.
Hmm.
And again, I know some people were a little disappointed we didn't get an official Nathan on bended knee proposal,
Hmm.
which I can understand the disappointment. Yes, we
Hmm.
all wanted that. But
Yes.
considering the events of episode 12 with Jack,
Hmm.
him doing it in that moment would not have been the right time.
No, no, it wouldn't have. And dare I say it wouldn't be appropriate either. I guess I mean like it wouldn't really a proposal, a proper proposal didn't really fit into this episode, and we wouldn't have been able to really celebrate it, like how we would want to.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But it's coming, and the marriage is coming too.
Hmm.
We just need to be patient.
Right. Oh, it totally is. There's no way that they're going to have them just, continue to date, continue to court. I know, yes, sometimes it can be a little confusing and a little frustrating about why they extend certain storylines or don't do certain things. We know that they do these things to keep us coming back, to keep us watching. They do these things for a reason. But the good news is they are not going back with Nathan and Elizabeth or this family. They are continuing to move them forward. This is going to be really good for their relationship and their family coming together.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's going to get better.
Yes, I think so
It
too.
already is great. It's going to continue to move forward and get stronger.
Yeah.
So going back to the You Breathe, I Breathe scene,
Yes.
the music was the same as their first kiss.
And the porch scene, I think.
And yes. And then the last scene when Elizabeth is leaving, the music was the same as the season 7 finale hug.
Mhm. And I think it was also the same as when Elizabeth goes after Jack before he leaves for the Northern Territories.
Yes. Yes. That's the first time we hear it. You're right. Yeah. That's right. Oh, so beautiful.
Yes. I think we start to hear it when Nathan rides up on Newton to Elizabeth's
Hmm.
house.
Yes. Oh, I just love how they put the music back
Yeah.
in with these certain scenes. Hmm.
Yeah. And like I said, I know it's hard to be patient
Hmm.
for Nathan and Elizabeth's wedding. I mean, it has been 84 years later.
It has. It's so hard to be patient, Nicole. It's hard for me. I'm impatient. I want that. Of course I do.
Yes.
I think they should have been married a long time ago.
Yeah. And Hardee's, I don't watch the show, but if you got that reference, leave a comment in the description
Yeah, because we know where it's from. Let's see if you know.
with the voice, with the
Yes.
nasally voice.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes it.
Yes. I know it's hard to be patient, but it's going to be worth it in the end when they are finally married.
Hmm. Right.
Look how long it took for us to see their first kiss and Elizabeth declare her feelings. That was worth the wait.
That was absolutely worth the wait to hear her say all of those things. And it just was so, it was so earned. And that was worth the wait.
I think so too.
Hmm.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Nathan and Elizabeth and Allie and Jack and Kate Fullerton. According to some of the interviews,
Hmm.
I would probably guess we'll see them in Kate Fullerton maybe 2 episodes. So the first two.
Hmm. I hope we do. I really hope we do. I think that would be great for them to be away somewhere different than Hope Valley, really have that quality family time together, new territory without, the influence or voices of Hope Valley, even though it's a very obviously positive, encouraging, hopeful home that they have.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them in a new space together too.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
And yay, we get season 13, which is so
Oh, we get our lucky 13, baby. I'm so excited.
me too. Yes.
So excited.
Yes. Do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, I just have loved talking about this season with you so much, Nicole.
Me
It's
too.
just brought me so much joy and happiness, and it's been such a blessing and an honor. So thank you so much for having me this season. And I'm so glad that we have another season to look forward to. And this has just been so fun. So I've loved it. Thank you so much.
Of course. And you will be joining me next season for 13 too. Woohoo!
I will. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Me too. And Hearties, just a little fun fact, stay tuned. Sometime in the near future, we will be starting to review some of the earlier seasons. But I think we're going to start with the pilot movie.
Yes.
Fun. So look out for those coming in the near future.
Yeah, I'm excited. That'll be great.
It'll be fun to go back and review season 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, although season 8 is a little hard, but I have to review it because I hadn't started the podcast when season 8 was airing. So
yes, and thankfully what we have now, it'll be a little easier to talk about season 8.
Agreed. Yes. Well, this was so much fun, Hearties. We have loved covering the season for you, and we can't wait to do it again for season 13 and cover some of the earlier seasons like we just mentioned. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes, I'm excited. It's going to be so good. Yes. So much fun coming up. I can't wait.
Yeah. All right, Hearties. Well, I think that concludes our review of When Calls the Heart, season 12, episode 12. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share your thoughts about the finale and any hopes you have for season 13 in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of our upcoming When Calls the Heart reviews, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube or follow along on Spotify and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when those episodes come. You can also find the podcast on Facebook and Instagram at Swing My Heart Podcast and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you very soon for some more When Calls the Heart reviews and next year in 2026 for season 13. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.